the new Mercedes concept is a game changer. So we're gonna be going through that and 5 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Mercedes news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel hitting that red button down below. The first story is George Russell teases big changes to the W14. That is a huge game changer. George Russell has offered some more insight into the development push going on at the Mercedes factory, explaining that the team are working really hard on sweeping changes to their W14 Challenger. Mercedes stormed to 8 successive constructors titles between 2014 and 2021, but their run was ended by Red Bull last season when they struggled to adapt to the ground effect rule changes and dropped down the pecking order. It was a similar story at the start of the 2023 campaign when both Red Bulls, Ferraris and Fernando Alonso's Aston Martin out-qualified the Mercedes drivers during qualifying for the Bahrain opener. Amid plenty of early season speculation, Mercedes boss Toto Wolff publicly admitted that the team had gone down a dead-end street with their development route, meaning a concept change is now in the works behind the scenes. Asked about the not-so-complimentary coverage of Mercedes' form so far and for his take on the state of the W14, Russell responded by making clear that the Brackley operation are working flat out to get back to winning ways. I mean, I don't read what's been said in the news all the time, but you know, we're here to win. We're here to fight for victories and for the championship, and clearly we're not in a position to do that at the moment, said Russell. But big changes are incoming. Naturally, you can't get things brought that quickly to the car, but I think in due course, we'll see some big changes, and hopefully the lap times represent that. Asked if he has tried the changes on the Mercedes simulator, Russell said, "Yeah, I mean, we're working really hard at the moment with these changes. I won't give too much away, and we need to make sure they work as expected. But as we've said a number of times, we're probably finding more gains in the past 2 or 3 weeks than we found over the whole winter by clearly developing in the wrong window, so it's definitely heading in the right direction." Following low-key performances in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, the last round of the season in Australia marked a step forward for Mercedes, with Lewis Hamilton finishing second to Red Bull's Max Verstappen. The result strengthened Mercedes' grasp on third position in the constructors' standings, while Hamilton holds fourth in the drivers' battle, with Russell slipping back to 7th after a technical-related DNF at Albert Park. The second story is Lewis Hamilton makes it clear just how far Mercedes are behind Red Bull. Lewis Hamilton is not hiding from the mammoth task that faces Mercedes, the Briton conceding it will certainly take them the rest of the year to close the gap on Red Bull. And that is just to close it, with the Mercedes driver acknowledging Red Bull also will not be standing still. This season Mercedes and their fellow Red Bull rivals have been swallowed up by the Milton Keynes squad. The RB19 as much as a second per lap faster in race trim at the season-opening Bahrain Grand Prix. The reigning world champions' margin was slightly reduced in Saudi Arabia, while Australia, where Hamilton finished second, did not give an accurate picture of the performance in light of 2 red flag stoppages. Hamilton, though, did say at the time that he was staggered by Max Verstappen's straight-line speed as the Dutchman blasted past him to take the lead of the Grand Prix. "It's just insane," said the 7-time world champion. "They're just in another league, and until we pick up speed on the straight like they have, and have the crazy downforce that they have through the corners, that's how it's going to continue." Mercedes principal Toto Wolff has since revealed the team is working hard and fast to bring updates to the car that will hopefully see them close the gap. "We have defined a clear direction where we need to go," he told the team's website, "and I believe we are on the right trajectory." Hamilton, however, fears it could take the entire season for Mercedes to close the gap, such as the advantage of the RB19. "We have to make sure to implement changes," he said as per motorsporttotal.com. "I just hope this task doesn't prove too big. It will certainly take the rest of the year to possibly close the gap. It can take a long time to catch another car. I'm aware of that, and the Red Bull is very likely to be developed further." The 38-year-old hopes that Red Bull, ahead of the curve, at least have less scope to improve their RB19, which could then help Mercedes. But he admits there's no guarantee in that. The third story is the Mercedes comeback starts with trusting the process, says Toto Wolff. Formula One is in the middle of an unexpected break, thanks to the cancellation of the Chinese Grand Prix. But with the teams heading back to the track in Baku next week for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, there are expectations that the 9 teams chasing Red Bull in the constructors' standings might be bringing some upgrades to the track. Among those teams, Mercedes. After a tough start to the 2023 season in Bahrain, a weekend team principal Toto Wolff called one of their worst days in racing, the team has rebounded with 2 stronger performances. While Russell suffered a DNF after engine failure in Melbourne, turn, Hamilton was able to hold off Alonso for P2 behind Max Verstappen, securing his first podium finish of the 2023 campaign. Now Wolff and the rest of the team are eyeing Baku and some potential upgrades to the W14, the team's challenger for the 2023 season. Wolff sat down for a Q&A with Mercedes this week, highlighting what the team has accomplished so far this season and what they expect to bring to Azerbaijan. It's been difficult so far. With the way we developed the car, we were hopeful of sorting out our issues from last year, and we realized we weren't coming out of the blocks where we expected to be. Having said that, we don't feel any sense of entitlement, said Wolff when describing the season to date. This is the toughest competition in the world, and it wouldn't be such a fantastic challenge if it was easy. 3 races into the season, I think we saw that one team is setting the benchmark now. In Australia, though, we saw glimpses of performance in our car that encourages us for the next part of the season. Wolff also believes that the recent success of the team, coupled with the improvements they are bringing to Baku, are encouraging signs for the future. In terms of car development, it is encouraging to see that within 3 races, we understand the car much better. We have defined a clear direction where we need to go, and I believe we are on the right trajectory. We need to consolidate our understanding, and hopefully over the next few races we can make another step, said Wolff. It's also important to keep on track and not oscillate too much between exuberance and depression. To stay rational and believe in our trajectory, believe in the capability of the team, he added. There will be setbacks, but there will also be upgrades and plenty of work that will help us get closer to the front. Azerbaijan is just one of the many races that Wolff and the team are looking forward to as the F1 calendar picks up steam. Thanks to the cancellation of the Chinese Grand Prix, the teams are enjoying an extended, albeit unexpected, break. But next weekend's race kicks off a slate of races that includes 4 races in 5 weeks. Baku is a very different track. It's high speed on the straights, and it's always an entertaining race. Miami's track layout is also a unique challenge. Going back there is fantastic with lots of marketing and partnership activities. And then obviously Imola, where we will start the first triple header of the season, said the Mercedes boss. Wolff added, we will consistently be bringing upgrades to the car over the next few races, which is something to look forward to. But there is no such thing as a magic bullet that transforms the car, and it's about being realistic with your expectations. Hopefully we will see a steady improvement. The Mercedes will reportedly alter the schedule for their reserve driver Mick Schumacher for the F1 2023 European rounds to come. The teams and drivers are now taking stock after the opening 3 Grands Prix of the campaign, the most recent outing in Australia having been followed by a break of almost a month due to the cancellation of the Chinese Grand Prix. And Schumacher, who joined Mercedes in a reserve role this season after being released by Haas, already has had a shock just from seeing the amount of work and communication going on between the Mercedes engineers. Hopefully what is to come is less of a shock to the system though, with Mercedes reportedly planning to change the way he supports the team as of the European leg of the campaign. Auto Motor Unsport state that from the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix onwards, Schumacher will remain at Mercedes Brackley base on the Friday, putting in the simulator laps to help the race team at the track with setup work. With the Emilia-Romagna GP running from 19th to 21st of May, this reported new schedule, for example, will see Schumacher in the simulator on that opening day before catching a plane to Imola so that he can join the race team at the track on Saturday. There are a couple more stops though on the 2023 schedule before Formula One reaches Imola, the first of those being the Azerbaijan Grand Prix at the Baku City circuit. Here the F1 sprint format will be in use for the first time this season, a potentially new version though, with reports that alterations which will see the Saturday Sprint become a standalone event have been agreed and are awaiting approval. After Baku, Formula One then moves on to Miami for its second visit to the Miami International Autodrome and the first of 3 stops in the United States this season. And these are rounds which Auto Motor Unsport claims Schumacher has been helping Mercedes prepare for already in the simulator. Mercedes head to Baku P3 in the constructors standings, 9 points behind Aston Martin and 67 adrift of the dominant Red Bull team. The 5th story is James Vowles reveals big restriction Toto Wolff placed on him upon leaving Mercedes. New Williams team principal James Vowles has revealed that he's not allowed to poach employees from his former team Mercedes, with a clause in his contract stopping him from doing so. Mercedes' former strategy director has made a tremendous start to his new life as Williams boss, with Vowles having already led the Grove-based team to some terrific results. In just the first 3 races of the 2023 F1 season, Williams have already scored a point, despite having entered the season tipped as likely backmarkers. They've been anything but backmarkers this year. Their strong start to the year comes despite not enough money having been invested into the team, with Vowles having revealed that Williams have been financially battling to stay in the sport for a number of years. Was enough money invested to keep up? Vowles told Automotor and Sport, "The answer is no. When you walk through the factory, you realize that there was a lack of investment. And when that happens, you lose touch with what's good, what's great, and what's not going so well." With that in mind, one of Vowles' first tasks as team principal was to learn not to plan for the future, but instead on what you have to do tomorrow. So you're not concerning yourself with what will happen in 12, 18, or 24 months. You think about what you have to do tomorrow to get through the day, Vowles added. Switching from the German giants that are Mercedes to Williams has certainly opened Vowles' eyes up, given that the Silver Arrows are regarded as one of the best when it comes to their factory and their equipment.